What do millionaires do differently than everyone else? Have a high enough household income to meet their basic needs, and then they save and invest their money consistently over decades. Compounding is a hell of a thing. Earning 7 on your money doubles it in 10 years. You don't need to make over $100K to reach a $1 million balance in investments. You just get there a hell of a lot faster if you make more money, because it's easier to avoid excessive spending on wants than it is to avoid spending on needs and simple comforts. The Millionaire Next Door by Stanley Danko. College professors study millionaires and find that vast majority spend below their means. Save more than the average. Invest early and often. And don't chase expensive things. You'd be amazed how many people earning $200,000 a year don't have any wealth. I'm the cliché millionaire next door who drives an old Toyota Camry. Millionaires? Many of them are not as different from you as you think. Billionaires, on the other hand, you know what the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire is? About $1 billion. Make coffee at home and never eat out, of course. By the numbers. Your average millionaire just owns a house in a major coastal metro and invests in their 401k. Or if you're talking about deca millionaires, they own equity in a valuable business, most likely theirs. If you're talking about billionaires, they typically founded, built, or managed a large business. I'm a millionaire. I'm an apprentice welder. Bought a cheap house in a good place. 10 years later. Worth over $1 million. All I do is stress about bills payments. One thing I've noticed successful or self-made wealthy people not do is make emotional decisions. They can even get wronged and move on with little thought, like it's a superpower they've bought. Not suffering from Sunday afternoon syndrome. Toilet paper, 17-ply. The millionaires I know spend less recklessly than the people I know living paycheck to paycheck. But that's just a personal account. People don't realize that having a net worth of even a few million is not actually that opulent. That's like the upper tiers of suburbia when one parent is a lawyer and the other like a software engineer, for instance. You can each make a couple $100K and accumulate a net worth of over $1 million when you factor in the values of assets. I think one of the most critical differences is the use of debt as a tool instead of seeing it as something to be avoided. Don't try to impress others, keep up with others, etc. As a millionaire, I spend a lot less than most of my friends that are not millionaires. Don't chase a lifestyle. Knowing you can outdo those who are up to their eyeballs in debt trying to impress everyone is so gratifying. I do the same thing I did before I was a millionaire. I work my job and pay my mortgage. I worry about how much childcare costs and about healthcare I might need later. Most of my money is in illiquid retirement accounts and home equity. So I still need to work. Spend less than they make. For many years in a row. Invest early and often. Compound interest. They are able to keep their eyes on the end goal. They make stepping stone goals. Most importantly, they know how to play to their strengths and outsource their weaknesses to accomplish a goal. Coming to the conclusion that there's no making it on your own is a benchmark that many refer to as the turning point on their lives. They don't spend money on silly things they cannot afford. They don't go into debt. Spend less than they make. They don't put all their eggs in one basket, but rather spread their wealth across different investment options. This reduces the risk of losing everything if one investment fails. The investments they make are usually in assets that could appreciate over time, such as real estate, stocks, or a business. I know one lives a normal life. You'd think they're middle class. We live below our means. We try not to spend money on things that depreciate. We drive older cars. Don't eat out much. We avoid debt and make contributions to investments a priority. Do that for 20 years and you'll be surprised at what you have. The ones I know. How they spend. A few guys I know have old cars, outdated phones, and don't get anything name brand if they can avoid it. It's about function over form. Read what do poor people do differently to moderately rich people. This would be a much longer and more depressing question. Never thinking twice about going to a doctor. Statistically speaking, they save and invest their money consistently for a few decades. They use their money to buy assets, not liabilities. Delay gratification. Make their money work for them, they don't work for money. Save money. I swear my boss just doesn't think other people exist. Yesterday I was parked up in my car on the side of the road. He recognized my car and just stopped in the middle of the road just to say hi and have a chat. Not even a work chat. Just hey, how you going? Blocking traffic. Cars having to go around him. Wasn't a main road but still wasn't a quiet road either. This was just an example that happened this week but made me laugh at how oblivious people can be to other people. Also, in a way, nice to know I'm relatively important enough to block traffic for 5 minutes just to say hi. They traveling to space. Low millions, not much different. Still shop and eat at all the same places. But don't really look at the prices of most things. They invest in appreciating assets instead of buying the latest Air Jordans, the newest iPhone, and financing a new car. I'm a millionaire. I lived like a pauper for years to build wealth in property and the market. If you do this for about 10 years without even making that much, suddenly you don't really have to worry about money anymore. I'm late 30s. I started at 18. Just start and don't look back. Have lots of money. Put it in investments. They have more dividend than your income. Invest. Understanding systems. Usually intrinsically ambitious. Good at networking and usually good at sales. Negotiating and usually good at understanding their audience. More important than anywhere you put your money. It's where you put your time. As early as possible, in other words. Now if you haven't already done it, put your time and attention into obtaining an undersupplied skill. In other words, something that is too hard for the vast majority, but critical to the economy. It's a lot easier to make it to $1 million when you can choose which company you work for instead of having to pray for each interview. Be hella stingy with their money. As someone who worked in customer service since I started working at 16, anyone who made a lot of money ended up being the worst people to tip or actually help anyone with money. Probably why they're rich. LMAO. In my view, there are 3 key points. 1. They are not afraid to take risks, e.g., starting their own company instead of choosing the security of a steady paycheck. 2. They invest their money in appreciating assets, e.g., buying real estate instead of spending all their money on depreciating assets, e.g., cars. 3. Luck. Millionaires often approach money and opportunities differently than the average person. They prioritize investing over spending, ensuring their money works for them. Living well below your means and mostly only buying appreciating assets. They go to work by helicopter.